ጎርጊስን የአጥቂ መስመር ተጫዋቾች በማስቆሙ በኩል ከሱ በተጨማሪ ዳንኤል ደርቤ የሚያደርገው እንቅስቃሴ የሚጠበቅ ነው የሚሆነው።
እንግዲህ የሁለቱ ቡድኖች ጨዋታ የሐዋሳ ከተማና የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጨዋታ ከኛ በኋላ ወደ እናንተ የሚደርስ ይሆናል። በእንግሊዝኛ ኮሜንትሪ በርናንድ ኦቴኖና ጊልበርት ሰለቡዋ ይጠብቋቸዋል። እንዲሁም በአማርኛ ኮሜንትሪ ግርማቸው ነውና መኮንን ኃይሉ የሚጠብቋቸው ይሆናል። ከጨዋታው በኋላ ተመልሰን እንገናኛለን። አሁን ከቤት ኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ጥሩ ጊዜ ይሁንላችሁ።
A very good morning to you from the country that has the lowest and the hottest place inhabited on earth. Talking about Ethiopia and talking about the Danakil desert. And from the capital of it all, Addis Ababa, at the Addis Ababa Stadium, it's one of the most successful teams in the history of Ethiopian football. St. George, also known as Kidus Georgia, if you are up to your Marika language prowess. Going to be playing Hawassa Ketema, a team that is only taking part in the second game of their league campaign this season. A season that started just recently in the Bet-King Ethiopian Premier League. And a season that now has focused on only having 13 teams in the league as opposed to the 16 because of a little bit of strife that has knocked off 3 teams who will be allowed to come into the league again in the next season without having to play in the qualifiers. And those players were allowed to move to other teams in the Ethiopian Premier League. So today St. George will be playing Hawassa Keteba. So I told you Hawassa has only played one match. They lost it 1-3 to Sebeta. Then they're playing one of the most successful teams who's playing their third game now in round 3 for them. They lost one game to Fasil, that was 1-0, and then they won 3-1 against Duradawa. 29 titles they have to their credit. The last one was in 2017. They're still struggling to find another one. I'm talking about the team in yellow, St. George. Getting onto the field, of course, they command a very big number of fans in the Ethiopian Premier League. But today, the question will be whether they can continue now they're winning. They got Patrick Matasi, who's in goal. We have all forgotten about the howler that he made in the first game, and he has made amends for it. Well, they conceded 1 goal in the second game, but they were already winning, so it's not a big deal. The man they had to thank for their scoring prowess was Abel Yaleo, Adis Gidey, and the man who's on the bench, Kenean Marken. Those are the 3 men who scored for the St. George side. And out of those 3, only 2 will be in the field today. 1 will be on the bench. Now, Lydia Tafese, I can't tell you enough about the lady who has been to 4 Chan championships, has ref 4 opening Chan games, has been to the Women's World Cup as well. She will be at the center of it all. And she will be assisted by 2 others whose names I'll give you in just one moment. Hawassa on the other side, they have to make some long travels if they were still in the old format of the league. They'd have to do about 500 kilometers to get to Addis Ababa. Now they only stay in the same hotel in Addis and play it from there. They lost their first game 1-3 to Sebeta. They need to make amends to it. It's only their second game, and they need to work hard to be able to get it and to get the 3 points today. Mario Davis is the coach of the St. George side. Was very, he was very reserved in his first loss, and obviously happy about the win in the second game. Muluget Mihiret on the other side played for St. George for 17 years. The story is that in all those 17 years, that coach never, as a player, got only 1 yellow card. And today he's coaching the Hawassa side. He needs to bring the same discipline to that side to be able to try and take the points off the St. George side, which is a well-drilled and well-oiled machine that has been troubling lots of teams in the Ethiopian Premier League. But then they say football, and that's my good friend who says football is not logic, so it's a question of who gets the better of what's going on the field of play, who always comes out on top. Any moment now we'll be coming to the first game of the morning in the Ethiopian Bet-King Premier League. I told you earlier on, it's being played in phases. So 5 rounds in one place in Addis Ababa, and then another 5 rounds will be played in the second place in Jima, and then another 5 rounds will be played in Bahir Dar, and that way then we will get all the rounds being done in the Bet-King Ethiopian Premier League. A good model that I thought should have been easily also, picked up by other countries that want to have a resumption in football following the COVID protocols. They're only allowing 10 fans as well from either side to come to the stadium. And I tell you, if you choose the right 10 fans, you may have all the noise that you want on the field. I'll be in the company of Gilbert Celebwa to take you through the 90 minutes of this game. I am Bernardo Tieno. Gilmacho Enyeo and Mekole Hailo are taking you through the Amari commentary. You've got the option of the language on your remote control. Press the language option, choose 1 or 2, press OK, exit, and you will move on and enjoy the games in the Ethiopian Premier League. So the luminous yellow will be for the Ethiopian St. George side, and the blue will be for the Hawassa side. Two teams that probably play contrasting football, Gilbert. One of them very tactical and preferring the short passes. The other one we've seen from their first game, they don't mind playing a physical game, and they also don't mind playing the long passes.
Well, Bernard, you're right. You don't want to take away from Hawassa. They are 203, 204 champions and 2006, 207 champions. So it means that in recent times they managed to pick the Ethiopian Premier League twice. Yep. Playing against a team that has picked the Ethiopian Premier League for 29 times, but it's taken them a long time. So,
all right, now the question is now the kind of tactical discipline, which is what we will see here already. St. George preferring the short passes, the Hawassa side being a physical side and preferring the longer passes. How does that pan out on the field of play?
Well, definitely. We saw St. George against Sebeta when they won. St. George
that has been put in just next to the goalkeeper. The flag has gone up. That's going to be offside. That's the first indication, Gilbert, of the technical prowess. If we go quickly to it, what do you think about it? They already sneaked into the defense here, and at that moment, again, you and I will argue about this and whether it's offside or not. But they're already sneaking into the defense.
It's quick, intricate passes from St. George. The last time that they played, they actually won 3 goals to 1 against Diradawa. And what made them win was the speed at which they were working with the ball. So in this particular game, that is exactly what you expect.
So speed is going to be of the essence here. And I think St. George are already employing that speed in this game. We say it again that a team that can probably play a different tactic altogether and use their physique will probably also get the better of the opposing team. But we'll see that again. Now, here is another chance up at the front, cutting it back. It came to Robin Neglande, but it went out. Here it is again. This is the one. Oh, no offside. But you and I have got a chance to see it again. No offside at all there. Very, very marginal. But as per the VAR, which is you and me at the moment, there's absolutely no offside there. But that has been the story. We'll keep on hoping that it can be to perfection. It will never be, but we'll keep on hoping that we can get as close as we can to perfection on those calls. Technical side, they will do it again, the St. George side.
They will do it again. And from the past experience, you've seen that they're using Duna Enoch, who's playing as a left back, but pretending to be a wing back. Most of the crosses have come from that side, and there's one fellow that they will have to put tabs on in this game.
Good thing there is there's no penalty for pretending to be what you're not on the field of play. You can pretend to be a defender as long as you clear the balls. Big ball onto the left side. Well, the man with some of the long legs would not have gotten to that. It's Johannes Segebo, didn't control that. Some of the most passionate fans are the ones you have to choose as among the 10 who may come into play, into the field of play. And they are going to give their best as the 12th man to the game. The build-up again will come into the midfield. A long ball onto the side, looking for Abel Yaleo. One of the dangerous strikers that the St. George side has employed. Is very speedy as well. He scored in the 56th minute of the game when they played Diradawa. And you will obviously be correct to think that he will be preferred for the goals again today. But he's a tactical player, so he might not go for the physical play. That's what they're trying to do to him. Pace him up front. Problem is, if you do that 2 or 3 times, your game becomes legible again, Gilbert.
It will be legible. It will be legible. Very, very fast game indeed. For the first 4 minutes, St. George taking possession and the game into Hawassa.
Yes, they're bringing it to them. But Hawassa, we've said, like to play the long balls. And then they have the physical play as well. They've got Deste Johannes in the midfield, looking around for space. He will take it back to Johannes Segebo. Now that's good combination. Now they have a better dribbler in there, in the name of Zelalem Isaias. Still becoming part of that action. We've gotten accustomed to the fact that the Ethiopian sides are never in a hurry to go to the goal area. They like to move the ball around. St. George love to move it around. 10 passes sometimes at once, Gilbert, before they can release the ball.
You're right, especially when you come against a team that is parking a bus. Then you want to invite them on one side and make a very good switches to the opposite side.
Now, interestingly now, Gilbert, it's there was a side that is inviting St. George to come out of their cocoon and then picking up the loose ball. Biruk Beyene is taking it out to the side. It's been kept in play as well. I think Zela Lemisaya has got onto it. Some good defending then from the conspicuously dreadlock player on the field. Losing possession now and looking for who to be able to go on a combination with. Now, I'll warn you again, if you're watching the BetKing Ethiopian Premier League, just because the ball gets to the box, don't get excited. It's not yet time for a strike, Gilbert.
They're never in a hurry. They always want to find the best opportunity, whether it's in the 6-yard box or the 18-yard box, that best opportunity to be able at least to score some fancy goals, I would call.
So then they're going to run it around in the midfield a bit to give us a chance to see where they're going to take it to. I mean, Tessino Tadane is the man who's just changed it onto the left side. They're obviously looking for Abeli Aleo. They're going to point him out with the ball. It's going back to the goalkeeper. Shoho Mensah. It's been very nice to be able to see the two national team coaches here at the stadium on a daily basis, watching literally every game and to try and figure out who's going to be doing what. And so the former national team coach who now coaches Sabeta FC, we saw him earlier on the bench, and the current national team coach is also at the stadium. They're good friends, you know. He also coached the Sabeta side, so they share a lot, including likes and dislikes on which teams they'll be coaching. You can say that, Gilbert, can't you?
I'm telling you. I mean, it's good. It's good when you sit with the national team coach. You get a few tips, especially since that the coach at Sabeta has decided to go a little bit lower.
Now we know if we see a little more of the better players on the team, we will know where it's coming from. That's a foul that has been called on. Good thing to also see that refereeing is changing a bit in terms of clamping down on those tackles. Mr. Shoho Mensah, the Togolese goalkeeper in goal for the Awasa side, is arranging his wall. That's the way you do it. You let the wall cover some part, and then you cover the other parts that the wall is probably not covering. Lydia has obviously taken her time in the refereeing games that we have seen to be able to explain to the players, you can't move from there, you have to stay behind the line. She's done it just the same way she's doing it in the World Cup. And now they know that they have to stay on line. And then she starts now the move. It might take a little time for you, but it's probably for the better. And a free kick to St. George. A little bit of fancy footwork right into the hands of Shoho Mensah. Very direct and not too hard. I think it's Getane Kebede, isn't it, Gilbert?
Well, Bernard, that gentleman is 28 years old. He's a national team player who has played for Dedi Bidvest West, University of Pretoria, has 51 caps to his credit with 27 goals on the national team.
He's the most experienced player on the field at the moment.
This is his first match.
Yeah, he was not on the field for some reason. I think he was nursing an injury, and he now has gotten back. So we'll see whether his impact will change things as well. He was touted as an impact player as well. Awasa trying to organize themselves now. They've been waylaid. That's the man we're talking about. He's also been given the captaincy today. Getane Kebede. Sends the ball off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in that will be given to Hawassa. A lovely little city with a massively big stadium as well, which did host a couple of matches in 2015 in the Sekafa Championship. By that time, it was still in... well, it was not complete, but it was ready to host the matches. Mr. Mulukieta Mihiret giving instructions there. He knows St. George. He played for 17 years at St. George. And and he's Mr. Clean as well. One yellow card in 17 years, Gilbert.
I'm telling you, that's a top discipline player.
If you were to divide the yellow card into 17 years, you can say he was given probably just one word of caution. And how many matches were played in every year, Gilbert?
You can imagine, 17 years.
It's a speck, maybe just an admonishing of the hand or just a gesture. Really, it's negligible.
So you're talking of 30 games times 17 years. 30 games times 17.
What's the mathematics in that?
About 500 games.
He played, and he got only one yellow card.
One yellow card.
So divide the yellow card into 500. It's negligible. So, straight onto the right side. It goes off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. I'll tell you the story. Even the yellow card he got, Gilbert, apparently the referee admitted yesterday that he was wrong. So I don't think it goes off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. I'll tell you the story. Even the yellow card he got, Gilbert, apparently the referee admitted yesterday that he was wrong. So they could rescind that decision. So we could say he never got a caution.
He's a clean guy.
He's a clean guy.
520 matches to be precise.
No, divide the card into 520 times. I don't know what you do.
Negligible.
Shoho Benson will start the build-up on his side. 0-0 the scoreline in the 10 minutes that we have played, in which St. George has brought the ball to the doorstep of the Awassa City side. And Awassa still trying to look for where to go through in the midfield. Lawrence Larte is another Ghanaian in the Awassa side. This is a long ball. Will be of no trouble at all to the St. George side. In fact, Enoch Adunya can just comfortably stroll to the area and have a chat with his goalkeeper before they decide where they're going to be taking it. A big chest that keeps it into play by Adis Gidey. Well, I think the referee says it had already rolled off the field of play. So it's going to be a throw-in that will be given to the captain of the other side. Starts a long ball. I think he's intending to put the Awassa strikers on a big run. The captain plays it back, Enoch Delby, into the midfield. When it comes to Zalem Isaias, they've lost possession. Getane avoids the tackle and manages to pick up the possession. Adunya. He's looked very strong in defense, but I think we haven't seen him being tested enough when there will be a big run on that side for the test of speed, Gilbert. Talking about the left back on the St. George side.
Adunya Henok is 26 years old. He's also in the national team with 4 caps to his credit.
Oh, okay. So we want to see exactly what kind of test is going to come in his direction when there's full flight or in an attack. A little bit of good footing coming off the Ghanaian defender Jibril Ahmed. And then the attempt to sneak it back into the center by the captain doesn't work out. Daniel Zeribi has got to make a little dash back to his line. We didn't talk about the formations, Gilbert. I noticed that there's a little bit of space in the midfield, especially when St. George is bringing the ball. But I'm also looking at the defensive formation of Awassa when the ball is coming, and it's not looking too bad. It's not disintegrating, especially the back four is staying in its line.
Yeah, you look at both sides, they actually have one lead striker. For St. George, there is Robin Neglande, number 27, as a lead striker, as compared to Awassa, who have number 11.
Well, this is going to be offside. Well, there's just 3 of them there, and an easy pick on Adis Gidey. Scored from a penalty position in the 78th minute of the game they played against Dire Dawa. And now he's got to score in open play. Matasi wants to be part of the infield players. He's supposed to come off his line. He loves to play that high line, Patrick Matasi.
He hasn't been involved for 13 minutes.
I thought that's supposed to be a good thing for a goalkeeper if you're not involved. Yeah, he is forcing an involvement here. Lawrence Larte on the other side doesn't have to force an involvement. The defense line of the Awassa side is made up of Jibril Ahmed, Yonis Sekebo. Here is a good run now. Looking for a left foot shot. It takes a deflection. Biruk Beyene finding the space to run off. They're being cut off quickly by the defense there. But that's what Awassa is looking for. That through ball there. It came very quickly, but that Biruk speed there almost caught them unawares. Quick reaction by Frimpong Mensu. Another Ghanaian in the field, but playing for the St. George side is what cut it off. We're going to see a lot of those fast runs on either side, Gilbert.
Yeah, you're right, Bernard. St. George kind of have a lot of possession in the game, and they're pushing up in numbers, meaning that they're playing a very, very high line, and that's why you've seen that one pass has beaten the whole defense line.
Yeah, quick through ball. But Patrick Batasi was on hand this time round. He's steadily grown in the confidence. I think there was a little bit of a pre-match anticipation in the opening match that he played, in which St. George lost to Fasil by 1-0. And it was a howler from the Kenyan goalkeeper. He said the ball just changed direction, and he was wishing that he could train with that match ball. Now that casts a little bit of questions about whether the ball that is being played on the field sometimes develops a mind of its own. It goes in its own direction. Goes out on the right side. This is Abdul Karim Mohammed. They'll be looking for space on that side. Haida Sharifa is part of it as well. And then they'll start it from the left side. So, looking for a through ball here. The back heel works, but then doesn't get to 100% possession. Adunya was trying to go for it, but a foul will have been given to the Hawassa side for that tackle, Gilbert. Yeah, I think as he was going down, he just, smeared his feet onto the defender and then brings him down for the third foul of the game in the 16 minutes we've played so far. Little attempt to try and bring the ball back to the center by Chernet. I wish Chernet is one of the players we're watching out for, Gilbert. Very speedy, very good on his feet. He's number 11 on the
Chernet,
side.
I wish.
Yes. We still will want to see how quickly he can run with Biruk Beyene, and then there's Zelale Bisayas. The three form a little bit of an interesting, very quick combination out in the midfield. This is going to be a throw-in. This is going to be for Awasa Ketema. Lester Johannes is the one who has brought it in. Referee says he's going to be down again. And he thinks, she thinks it should be started from. I don't know, Gilbert. Why is that for?
I'm not sure.
I'm not exactly aware. Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that. And get a chance to see Abel Yaleo as well. His game is pretty obvious. They want him to go into an attacking position. They will point him out and give him a through ball. They want him to capitalize on his speed and his technical prowess as well. Adunya, too low. But then still picked up, looking for a chance at a shot. I think there must have been a deflection there, coming from Ketare Kebede. Now you know why he's probably the most cut player on the side. He has some very quick feet as well. I think the defender this time round was just slightly faster to put his foot on the way there and deflect the ball.
He actually deflected that ball. That ball was actually going to the upper 90. And a revert player, you don't give him that time in space, especially in and around the box.
Just about 5 players in the box, coming inwards. Mensah has a touch on it. It comes out to the right side and lifted again into the center. Ketane Kebere had a head around it. But Mensah doesn't think it's that dangerous. Just pushes it out of the field of play for a corner. Here it is again, Gilbert. They converged on it very nicely, didn't they? Mensah pushed it out.
He comes out very well, and then the return pass finds the most capped player, 28 years, Kebede with it. Look at that reflex action by the goalkeeper. No one marking that international at all.
Yeah, I think he had good communication with his other striker up front and told him, leave it to me, I'm in a better place, because both of them were going for it. But that is good for them up at the front if they can communicate. This is going to be a corner. Abel Yaleo will take it. Out swinging this one. Enough men going for it. This is not going to trouble Shoho Mensah at all. He's got to start it for the Awasa side. But this is the one that I thought would be going in. Pushed out by Mensah, the goalkeeper, and then brought back. Kebede communicating very nicely with his
Robin Neglande.
Is it Neglande? Yes, in 27. Communicating very nicely with his fellow striker. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And telling him to leave it for him. Out on the right side again to Abel Yaleo. But they like to keep possession and then walk around the possession. Pushed onto the left side by Abdul Karim. And then he comes back to his position quickly. They'll exchange positions with Mulual and Mesfit.
Bernard, in Kenya, we talk about parking a bus. But in Ethiopia, I think we should talk about parking a tram.
No, who's parked anything anywhere?
The team in blue.
No. But you've got to look at it the other way around, Gilbert. The attack is coming from St. George. They have to stay behind.
No, I'm talking about their defensive discipline at the back.
Yes.
Yeah, they drop back in numbers and give St. John no room at all to be able to play.
I think that's a good team that has studied how the other team is playing. They know that when they have possession, you better pack it and wait for them to come. But they're not playing 100% that. You can't just pack the tram. The tram only parks in the city, man. You're going to be playing in the entire country. You need a taxi or you need a whole bus to be able to park it in different places. But yes, they are staying in their defensive line, and they're doing well for that because the attack is coming from St. George. They have that difficult task of defending and attacking at the same time. That's some good tackling coming from, I think it's Jibril. And then it's played out to the right side. So now Hawassa have that difficult task of attacking when they have the ball. They've got to come into the midfield and have to watch out that they don't stay too far out to be caught on the attack again by St. George. Yeah, Gimache Enyewe and Mekonnen Hailu are taking you through the Amari commentary. Quick clearance here by Frimpong, sends the ball off the field of play. And they give out a corner to the St. George, rather to the Hawassa side. So far so good, 21 minutes of play, Gilbert. We are almost playing to the halfway back in the first half of the game.
Yeah, Bernard, we've only seen one or two meaningful attacks that have come from St. George. And Hawassa have really not bothered Patrick Matasi. That's why Matasi wants to get involved in areas that he's not supposed to.
Well, now you'll get perfect involvement. Tessa Yunis bringing in a very low corner. I thought we were going to look for a chance for a shot here. And then now they get it to Abel Yaleo, the danger man. He'll only need one support. He's turned the defender inside out. He's got one more to go. The tactical player that he is, he's gone through the second one as well. The shot just veers off target briefly. What it doesn't have in terms of physical prowess, he's got in terms of the technical prowess. And Abel Yaleo is a marvel to watch from the halfway mark. He turned Lawrence Larte inside out and then came to the second defender. He knows there's nobody else in place there and leaves him for dead. I think just a quick decision to go towards the goalkeeper there. Although he knows that maybe Mensah was thinking he's going to bring the ball to the center, and so he was trying to trick the goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, even Adunya was right there waiting for that pass. But look at his energy, his skill, and his goal-scoring ability. You can't take it away from the 32. Apparently, he's 28, not 28. He's an international, has one goal to his credit in this league.
Hawassa bringing the ball to the box. And the quick, easy take has already been stolen back. So basically, again, taking it away, Robin Neglande. So far off the line of where he's supposed to be playing. Adunya is in his elements on that left back position, looking very solid on that side. But I still would like to see how he'd perform if he's got a run with Biruk Beyene, because that speed is the one that has been making him look very ordinary. Frimpong Mensah has cleared it out into the midfield, and Jibril brings it back for the Hawassa side. Looking for a chance out on the left side. Segebo is played it back into the midfield to Henok Dilby. And then they have to start it again on the half. They're also now looking for the options, and you could say St. George is also parking the basket, but when they are under attack, that's the only thing to do when you've got technical prowess coming in your direction.
You're right, Bernard. They're parking the midfield, and they are quite in sync. If you look at the three lines, the defense, the midfield, and the striking force, they drop back, and they leave very, very little space between themselves for those passing lanes, and it becomes a challenge.
So you could say they are cancelling each other out in terms of how they are dealing with the challenges. So in a game like this, then, I tell you, individual flair becomes very important, and we've already seen it coming from the number 10, Abel Yaleo of St. George, because you depict exactly what kind of player you are in this kind of situation when you go into that solo move. Can it be a solo move on this side? Well, a good turn and an advantage given to Hawassa. with that tackle that came on Biruk Beyene. Right on the left side again with a left foot cross. Not yet completely dealt with. The ball is still in play, I think. Oh, the referee says, was there a handball?
Yeah, there was a handball.
That's what he says.
Yes.
Well, that's what she says, rather. Let's see it again then. I think the attack coming from the left side. And the second ball there. Yeah, he touched the hand. Must be Biruk Cheyene. Yep. He touched the ball. Very good Hawkeye refereeing coming from Lydia. Yep, she saw it. And so that fizzles out that very good attack, but that was initiated by Desta Johannes from the left side.
He's actually one of the players who has come in out of the team that played in the last game. They have brought in 5 players, and Desta Johannes, now playing as a left back, is one of the players that has been brought in. Very, very
Good
agile.
change,
Yeah.
Good change that they made in that team then, to be able to include him. Mulwalwen will play it back onto the right to the defenders to start the build-up from their side with Abdul Karim Mohammed. Now, loss of possession in the Ethiopian Bet King Premier League becomes similar to a loss of possession in the NBA basketball, Gilbert. It's going to be turned into a point.
It is.
It's going to be turned into a big advantage. That's what is happening here in Addis Ababa. Goes back into the midfield. And then again, Desta Johannes has lost possession. And St. George, well, also going to lose possession as Daniel Deribe, captain of his side, comes in to cut out what would have been a fast break. So brought back into the center by Desta Johannes. And they are looking out especially for Johannes Segebo to start the runs on the left side. Segebo is put on the team sheet as a defender, but he's so far out on the left flank all the time attacking. I tell you, it's in the Bet King Ethiopian Premier League in which you've seen a defender who was turned into a striker and who ended up being one of the top goal scorers. So,
Are you talking about Bayer Gezahun?
yes, of course. You've got to look at your opportunities, and when you find them, you use them. I mean, you could play on any position in the field, especially if you're good. Here comes Daniel Deribe. Lost it just before they started the attack. But again, lost in the midfield. And picked up by Awasa Keteba. With Desta Johannes bringing it forward. The flag is up for offside. Having 2 players in the offside. It may just be that it's Biruk who was in the offside on the other side of the right side. Because, yeah, so conspicuously offside there. Biruk Cheyede gives the position back to the St. George side. An exciting play that you watch in the Bet King Ethiopian Premier League. A foul coming in on Robin Neglande. Quick free kick that will be taken by St. George.
Neglande is all over the place, Bernard. You saw him on the right-hand side. He was as a long striker. He came to the right-hand side. Now he's going back as a striker.
Yeah, there's one word they use for a player like that, a utility player. Can be anywhere, can play anywhere. But I think today they must have deployed him in the midfield. But I think he's got a free roll. He's really just roving everywhere on the field. This is Biruk Cheyene, who's left it to Henok Dilby. Out to the right side now to Deribe. Brings it back. And Deribe will get a chance to try and bring in the cross, little touch. And looking for a chance. Nice shot that just veers off target. Nice left foot shot. The calculation of it by Jibril is the one that just stops it from going into the net. But I don't think it was troubling Matasi at all. He seemed to have seen it. He just let it roll past.
Well, a lot of balls that have troubled Matasi are actually long-range shots, and I think that's one reason why Jibril Ahmed decided to try one.
Yeah.
Not really have a good technique, but
if you're going to trouble him,
nice.
If you're going to trouble him, if you're going to trouble him with the long balls, it must be on target.
It must be on target.
Yeah, if it's off target, it's no trouble at all. And on his left side, and I think they've noted that the left side of Matasi, for some reason, is where he is not very comfortable.
Correct.
And a good team will be the one that is using that as an advantage to them. This is again intended for up at the front. That shielding of the ball has become very, very common in the Ethiopian game. The body check. You know, the body hits on you first and then the feet pick up the ball, especially in the midfield for holding midfielders. I've used that a lot. It does have its own effect, and we see already one of the players reeling from that effect of the same. This is a foul, and has been on Zalem Isaias. Yeah, that's the player we're talking about. Robin Neglande is the one who seems to have taken a little bit of a knock. He's not feeling very comfortable. He's hunched back, and I don't think he can be able to run. He should just go down, and you know, the referee should stop play. I think Lydia is trying to find out whether Neglande is okay or not. She's going to have to stop play. Yeah, that's the mark of good refereeing. Neglande is down from that earlier body check that we are talking about, and seemingly having a pain below the waist. Yep. He's clutching on the groin area. This is what I'm talking about. Those body checks are becoming a little bit too dangerous in the Ethiopian game. First, the body hits you, and then you stop short, and then they go for the ball. And I've seen it used a couple of times in the game. But you see the effect of it.
And especially in that area of the body, Bernard, it takes wind out of you.
It does. In any area, Gilbert, it takes a lot. In that area, it takes just a little bit more.
The future is in trouble.
Yeah, it's not just the wind that is knocked out here. It's a lot of other aspirations that you've had, you know. And as it goes down, he's probably wondering what else could have happened to him. But look at Mehat. He's taking the opportunity to give his players a little bit of a pep chat, but on the field, not comfortable at all. Not comfortable at all. So he's going to walk out of the field of play to get some medical attention. The big portrait of Yed Nakicheo Tasama, the famed Ethiopian man who formed the Ethiopian Federation in 1943, is donning a big part of the side stands here. He was a coach in 1962 as well for the AFCON Ethiopian team, and a predecessor of Isaiah too in the CAF, Confederation of African Football, in 1927 to 1987. So you could call him the founding father of CAF and also the founding father of the Ethiopian Federation.
And he actually is the one who won with Ethiopia in 1962 AFCON, the only coach to have won AFCON with the Ethiopian national team.
That's a man who's revered in Ethiopia. It's no wonder he's a very, very big portrait of his watching the game from the stands here. Now that the games are being played under strict COVID rules and no fans are allowed in, he's commanding a massively big place on the side stands there. And quite correct, sir. This one is a net. He didn't need to do a lot more than just touch the ball the first time. I think he wanted to control the ball, and he realized there would be no need to do that. He can't enjoy himself a bit here. This is Robin Neglande, and from the positions that he's playing, you really did expect him to be in a striking position, but he's assisting the striking up at the front. Neglande was clutching on a groin earlier on, finds himself in the right place at the right time. The cross tantalizingly coming here. He was going to try to control the ball. The goalkeeper was already down thinking that it's going to be a shot, and then he realized that the ball had already been put in the net. So Neglande, doesn't matter what part of your body it hits, it's a goal, and it will go to the credit of Neglande.
Yeah. The combination between Adunia Henok on the left-hand side and Aveli Aleu cutting inside, and you would have blamed the defenders for not dealing with him before he brought the cross, but again,
well, they tried to deal with him. You don't blame them because they tried to deal with him. From the Addis Ababa Stadium, St. George 1 and Hawassa 0. So it's not that they didn't deal with it; they were unable to deal with it. So you compliment the striker and not blame anyone for it. This goes off the field of play, and it's going to be throw-in that has already been taken. So this will change the way the game is being played. So not too much in terms of the percentage, in terms of the attacks. Almost, it's level. It's level. So a lot of it is being played in the midfield. This is a long ball coming off Charleta Wish. He knows something that we also know about long balls and Patrick Matasi.
He knows that with the. You talked about the precision, and look at that, good technique, good precision, and on the left-hand side of Matasi.
But this time Batasi does it better. He stops it short. He doesn't try to clutch onto it like he did before. With a chance on this side that goes begging. That was almost being turned by a combination of two players, including Getade Kebede and Abelia Leo. But I don't know what happened in that one.
Well, the miscommunication between Shoho Mensa, the goalkeeper, and Abdusalim Tesfaye, the central defender.
And then they didn't take advantage of it, the two strikers. That's what I'm talking about. They should have taken advantage of it. Any mistake is punished heavily here. Laying it back to the defender, Jibril Ahmed. And Abdusalim Tesfaye will also try to be part of it. Chenet didn't have anybody to go for it on that left side or right side of the attack, so Adunya gets to it first and simply pumps it forward, trying to get Robin Neglande to work harder out there. And now that you've already scored a goal, Neglande's performance will be watched very closely on what else he can do. Well, he simply mugs the defender of that ball and very easily makes it now their possession. It's a good thing that they get it back and send it to the goalkeeper, Mensah, who pushes it forward. And a big chase on Abdul Karim Mohamed, who lets it roll out of the play as Johannes Segeba was following it. Now the St. George player. The St. George fans, I really wish I could understand Amari Gilbert. What do you think they're singing about? Oh, they already look like they are feeling they're ahead of the pack now, and they're taunting the team on the other side. Like, if you can, catch us if you can. Like, go ahead, we are ahead. Now let's see if you're going to catch up with us. So, they're far ahead. I mean, really, Awasa would have to make so many wins in the Premier League before they can even catch the St. George side. So it's a taunt that will go for many years. This is a team that has won it 29 times. Awasa has only 2 titles, so 27 to go, and probably catch them in this game as well. But our St. George itself is struggling, trying to win a title. 3 years they haven't, since 2017. That was the last time. So we'll see whether or not they can add another one in this season that has just resumed of the Bet King Ethiopian Premier League. Back into the game, Gilbert. 37 minutes played. How would you analyze it?
Well, I think the game was balanced until Neglande Robin robbed them for at least that one goal. But so far, I think defensively both teams are working out very well and moving up in numbers whenever they're in possession of the ball.
A good clearance by Abdusalim Tesfaye takes the ball away from a cross that was coming from Adis Gidai. Adunya has rolled into the left wing, and he leaves Haida Sharefa behind to work in his place in his absence, as they try to work their way into the area with a good take by Abel Yaleo. Gone past the defender. It's going to be a penalty. No doubt about it. Mensah might claim he didn't do anything, but Lydia knows that Mensah held on to Abel Yaleo. And Abel Yaleo gets a penalty here. Look at that. Well, Abel Yaleo might be simulating, but from that other side, it looks totally like Shoho Mensah held onto his feet. He will claim his innocence, but from that position, there's nothing else the referee can give but a penalty here.
Individual brilliance.
Yes,
and
that's what you talked about.
That move, we call it helicopter.
Is it helicopter?
Yeah, because the 360 move to try and go beyond the keeper.
Why do you call it helicopter?
Goes round
you should call it the rotor of the helicopter. I tell you, Gilbert, as an aspiring pilot, I can't tell you if your helicopter goes 360, you're in trouble. But the rotor can go 360. Kebede has been given a chance here to go onto the score sheet. And with the experience he has, it's most probable that he will be changing the score idea for Georges. If he can, he puts it in the net. Goes for power and precision as well. And Getade Kebede makes it goal number 2 for St. George. from that move that Gilbert insists is a helicopter, and which I insist is a helicopter rotor, that has given the penalty to the goalkeeper. Here it is again. Here is
Too much skill.
He goes past the defender here. Let's watch the legs and the hands of the goalkeeper. No, the goalkeeper did not touch him. But as a striker on that side, the simulation is perfect. And the ball is put in the net by Kebede. Mensah going in the right direction, but he can't get to that ball.
It doesn't even come from far. He's actually one step away from that penalty. And you can't take away from the most revered player, Getene Kebede, 28 years old, putting St. George's ahead 2-0. Has played for Deadbeat, has played for Bidvets, he has played for University of Pretoria, 51 caps with 27 goals for the national team. His first match in 3, and scores a beautiful goal.
A penalty. He's got to thank the talented Abel Yaleo in the forward line of the St. George. It's changed now. It's 2-0. And now there's more attacks coming from the right side for St. George, 49% of it, with just about 38% coming from the left side. But the Awasa side have tried to come in from the left 83% of the time.
Yes.
And
yes,
just 17% on the right side. So they're using the left side a lot,
in fact, most of the attacks are coming from the left back, Desta Johannes, together with Johannes Segebo, who's actually been included in the game today.
Starting the build-up off the right side. This has already rolled off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the Awasa side. We'll get a second chance at a throw-in then. I tell you, if you are ever going to use the VAR, and there's really never going ever to be a goal that has been scored from a foul position at all. But at the moment in this situation, like I told you earlier on, it's Gilbert and I who are the VAR here. And from our side, it didn't look like the goalkeeper touched him at all. But then again, a decision has already been arrived on the field of play. They'll start the build-up from their half into the center. That's the scorer of the St. George second goal. Lovely ball offside. Yep, Adis Gidey has been seen in the offside position very nicely. This time around being caught in it, but you can see the idea. Dilly-dally with the ball at the center, open it up on the flanks and go for speed and go for the touch as well.
And they've done it very well. They, with the Adunya Enoch attacking on the left-hand side, and then you have Abel Yellow attacking on the right-hand side. So breaking out through the midfield, that's right.
4 offsides in total in this game, and 4 of them have been executed by St. George side. This one's onside, no doubt about it, with Laute putting them onside. Lovely one here, it's in the net! Getane Kebede again with Abel Yaleo, and you've got to marvel at the intellect with which this one has been done, both by the striker Abel Yaleo and by the man who finally puts it into the net, Getane Kebede, making it look very easy to score here. But Abel Yaleo equally making it easy, looking easy on how to provide. He starts the run, he's got one defender here, he simply gets the better of him, he's not in a hurry, lifts it. Look at Getane Kebede's touch on that ball.
Very good combination, that's a good run, good skill, he holds on to that ball. He knows that Lawrence Larte wants to go down, but again, the combination between the 4 strikers at the national team, Abel Yaleo, Haida Sherefa, Getane Kebede and Adis Gidey at the top.
And the fans as well, you must not forget them. That combination is dangerous. It's very lethal. It's giving problems to this coach as well. Mulugeta Mihiret, having played for St. George for 17 years, must be wondering why he deserves this kind of treatment from the other side.
Well, very highly technical
3-0
players.
in favor of St. George. From the Addis Ababa Stadium, the scoreline has changed again. And Gilbert, if this goes on, you're gonna see a very dangerous combination of Abel Yaleo and Robbie and Getane Kebede. And it's not over yet. It's just the beginning of it all. Because if Abel Yaleo realizes he can't score. He will provide it. And now they've got somebody else who's, a free scorer in this league.
Two assists. Two assists, Bernard. And when you talk about Kebede, only 28 years old and playing at the top of the level of the league in this country, in the national team, the coach definitely knows that he's the man to go to at this point.
Well, I think the coach was head coach. Mahir Davids was just telling them, play the ball forward. I mean, don't dilly-dally with it on that side. I think he knows there's a dangerous combination up front, which if it gets it right, will work the magic for him. And he trusts his defenders to deal with anything else that comes to that side. That's why he's telling them, send the ball up at the front. Jibril, and then a little bit of a play on their side to Desta Yohannes. So Jibril again gets onto it, really being stretched left, right and center. The captain of the side sends it forward, but none of their men is out there to go pick it up. We'll play 2 minutes of added time. There wasn't much stoppage in the first half. It's largely clean as well. No cards in this game. And it's the contrast between tact and the physical running game. Whoever gets the better of the other works it out perfectly. Abel Yaleo has just realized he's got some extra support every time behind him. Brings it onto the right side to Adis Gidey. This one just takes the crossbar.
It's too much problem.
Oh, they're going to be scoring at free will.
Problem.
It's Gidey. Plays around with the defender. And this one just takes the...
It's actually Biruk Biene.
It is Adis Gidey from St. George who actually took that.
You're right, Bernard. Biruk is on the
other side.
Yeah.
It's Adis Gidey, and who was almost scoring on that side. So it's going to be a throw-in now. And they start the build-up again. Back to Larte in defense for the Hawassa side. Just about half a minute remaining in regular time as the Hawassa side check themselves on time from going into an offside position. And I think the assistant still decides that it's offside, so the referee calls for it. Matasi let the ball roll off the field of play. Edgar, Mahir Davids, what do you think he's thinking now?
He has 8 players, national team players on his side. And that combination that you've seen so far, I think with 3 goals to his credit at this point in time, he's a more relaxed coach and has an advantage coming to this game in the second half.
Pushed back into the midfield. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of tact in trying to get the aerial balls out of that area. They're not very endowed with height, some of the Ethiopian players, actually most of the Ethiopian players, but then they make up for it with tact as well. As we come to the end of the first half, 3 goals having been scored by the George's side. Neglande, Tane Kebede twice. Make it 3 for St. George. And that means the fans will have to dance 3 times over in celebration just in the first half. And you can imagine if that continues into the second half, it's going to be a lot more celebration by the St. George fans here at the Addis Ababa Stadium. I can tell you as well, there are very many fans who are always on the outside of the stadium enjoying the proceedings as they're going on. They're watching it, of course, on your World of Champions as it comes live for them. The first goal by Neglande in the 33rd minute, nicely lobbed in. He wasn't even expecting it. Actually just bumped into it as Abel Yaleo was the provider there. And again, Abel Yaleo himself became a recipient of a penalty, which was converted by Getane Kebede. And still again, Abel Yaleo provided for the 3rd goal as well. So 3-0 from the Addis Ababa Stadium in the Bet King Ethiopian Premier League. We'll be back with the second half of this very exciting match.
Socks? What were you thinking? Socks don't make the heart beat faster, and they don't bring us together. No one ever sang socks.
I stand as one, but I bring 10,000 swords. Bloodlines running like rivers wide. As I stand firmly in the soil of my origin, I carry the horns of Africa in my chest. 10,000 journeys of flesh, heartbeat, voice.
Manchester United have reached the promised land. It's all that's brilliant.
Watch NFL games live all season long.
The UEFA Champions League. Get and stay connected to DSTV to
Fighting's
watch
not
every
that
game on
easy, but
Supersport.
Grammarly can help.
Got the world's best
This
football.
sentence is grammatically correct.
ናሁ ቲቪ በዩቲዩብ ቻናል ፕሮግራማችንን ወዶት
የቤት ኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ የሶስተኛው ሳምንት የመጀመሪያ ጨዋታ እየተከናወነ የሚገኘው 45 ደቂቃ ተጠናቋል። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ሐዋሳ ከተማን 3-0 በሆነ ውጤት መምራት ጀምሯል። የመጀመሪያው ጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ምን ይመስል ነበር የሚለው እንግዲህ ከመኮንን ኃይሉ ጋር አብረን እንመለከት ይሆናል። ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጥሩ ጅምር ነው። በተለይም የመጀመሪያው ግማሽ ላይ ጨዋታ ነበር የሚለው እንግዲህ ከመኮንን ኃይሉ ጋር አብረን እንመለከት ይሆናል። ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጥሩ ጅምር ነው። በተለይም የመጀመሪያው ግማሽ ላይ ጨዋታውን ለመግደል የሚያስችሉ ጎሎችንና እንቅስቃሴ ካደረክ 90 ደቂቃው ሴፍ ነህ ማለት ነው።
የመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስና ለአሰልጣኝ ዳቪድ ማሂርስ በጣም አስደናቂ ነው ማለት ይቻላል። በዚህ ጨዋታ ላይ ባለፈው ሳምንት በድሬዳዋ ከተማ ከነበረው የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴና ለውጦችንም አድርገው ነው የገቡት። ከዛ በተጨማሪ የማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴያቸው ቻናልም ላይ እንደዚሁ ለውጦችን አድርገዋል። ለምሳሌ በድሬዳዋ ከተማ ጨዋታ ላይ አብዱልከሪም መሐመድ ይበልጥ የማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴው ላይ ሲሳተፍ ነበር። ዛሬ ደግሞ ሄኖክ አዱኛ ነው ይበልጥ እየተጠጋ የሚገኘው። ከዛ ባሻገር በጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ የቦታ ለውጥ ማድረግ ችለዋል። አዲስ ጊዜ የመጀመሪያዎቹን ደቂቃዎች በግራ መስመር የአጥቂ መስመር ቦታ ላይ ነበር የተሰለፈው። በዛ ላይ ብዙ ተጽዕኖ ሲፈጥር አልተመለከት ነው ነበረ። በኋላ ላይ ግን አቤል ያለው ወደ ቀኝ ወደ ግራ አዲስ ግሬ ደግሞ ወደ ቀኝ ከመጣ በኋላ የአቤል ያለው ተጽዕኖ ይበልጥ እየጨመረ ነው የመጣው። ከምንም በላይ ግን በዚህ ጨዋታ ላይ ትልቁ ተጽዕኖ የጌታነህ ከበደ ወደዚህ ጨዋታ
መመለስ እጅግ በጣም የጌታነህ ከበደ መመለስ የአዲስ ግዳይ እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከአማካኝ ክፍል የሚነሳው ኳስ ሙከራ እጅግ በጣም አስገራሚ ነው። ቀደም ሲል የመጀመሪያው ሙከራ በሐዋሳ ከተማ በኩል ሻይቡ ጅብሪል ሲያደርግ ነበር የተመለከትነው። በሐዋሳ ከተማ በኩል የተጫዋቾች የልምድ ችግር እንዳለ በግልጽ ይታያል። ያው ወደ 17 የሚጠጉ ተጫዋቾችን ነው ከታችኛው ቡድን ያሳደገው ሐዋሳ ከተማ። ስለዚህ በዘንድሮ የውድድር ዓመት የምንጠብቀው ትልቅ ነገር ላይኖር ይችላል፣ ግን እንቅስቃሴዎቹ የሚያድግ መሆኑን በእያንዳንዷ ጨዋታ ባደረጉት ሁለት ጨዋታ ለመመልከት ይችላል። በመስመር የሚደረገው የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ እንቅስቃሴ የመጀመሪያውን ሙከራ የመጀመሪያውን ጎል ነው የምንመለከተው። ይሄ ጎል ሲቆጠር በነገራችን ላይ ጎሉ እንደተቆጠረ እርግጠኛ አልነበረም።
ምክንያቱም
ኳሱ ሲነሳ መጀመሪያ
በደረቱ ስለነካው በግንባሩም ለመጫወት ሞክረው ነበር። ነገር ግን ግብ ጠባቂው በስፍራው ስለነበረ በቀላሉ ተቆጥሯል። ሩቤን ነግላንዴ ቦታ እየያዙና የመጨረሻውን ኳስ ያስቆጠረበት መንገድ በጣም አስደናቂ ነው። ከምንም በላይ ግን አቤል ያለው የዚህ ጨዋታ ኮከብ ነው ማለት ይቻላል።
የጎል መነሻ ነው አቤል።
የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴ አብዛኛው ስኬት ከዚህ ተጫዋች የሚነሳ ነውና ምናልባት አሰልጣኙ ይህን ተጫዋች በቀጣይ ጨዋታዎች ላይ በቋሚነት የማሰለፍ ግዴታ ውስጥ እንዲገቡ የሚያደርግ
ሁለተኛው ኳስ ሳሆ ሜንሳ ኳሱን አቤል ይዞት ከሄደ በኋላ ይሄ ዚዳን ተርን የምንለው እንደ ዚዳን ይዞረውን አዟዟር ይዞራል ብሎ አልጠበቀም ነበር። ሁለተኛውን ተርን ሲያደርግ ነው ፋውሉን የሰራው። ከዛ በኋላ ጌታነህ ከበደ በግሩም ሁኔታ ጎል አስቆጠረ። ጌታነህ ከበደ ከጉዳት በኋላ ተመልሶ ጎል ማስቆጠር መጀመሩ ለጌታነህ ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስም ትልቅ ጥቅም ይኖረዋል። ምክንያቱም ለአጥቂ ትልቁ ኮንፊደንስ ጎል ስለሆነ ማለት ነው።
በጣም ትክክል ነው። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ 3 ጎሎችን አስቆጥሯል። ምናልባት ካለው የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ብልጫ አንጻር ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጨዋታውን ገሏል ማለት ይቻላል። ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ ግን ምናልባት አሰልጣኝ ሙሉጌታ ምህረት ለውጦችን አድርጎ የመግባት ግዴታ ያለበት ይመስለኛል። ምክንያቱም ከዚህ በኋላ ከ3 በላይ ጎሎችን አስቆጥሮ ሐዋሳ ከተማ የማሸነፍ ተስፋ ይኖረዋል የሚል ግምት አይኖረኝም። ከዛ ይልቅ ግን ጥፋቶችን አደጋዎችን መቀነስ ያለበት ይመስለኛል። ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ በተከላካይ መስመሩ ይበልጥ ሽፋን የሚሰጡ አማካዮችን ሙሉጌታ ምህረት ማስገባት ያለበት ይመስላል።
ጎሉን እየተመለከትነው ነው። ሶስተኛውን ጎል ሲቆጠር አሁንም መነሻ የኳሱ እንቅስቃሴ አቤል ነው። መስመር ላይ የአቤል የአዲስ ግደይ ጥረት ለቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ኃይል ጨምሯል ማለት ይቻላል። ብዙ ጊዜ የሶስተኛው የሜዳ ክፍል ላይ የሚኖሩት የተጫዋቾች ጥራት፣ የተጫዋቾች አቅም ቡድኖችን የማሸነፍ ደረጃቸውን ከፍ ያደርግላቸዋልና ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በፕሪሚየር ሊጉ እጅግ በጣም የተሻለ የምንለውን ስብስብ ይዟል። አጠቃላይ ሜዳውን የኳስ ብልጫ ስንመለከት 50 ከመቶ የሆነ የኳስ ቁጥጥር መሀል ላይ ክፍል ነበረ። በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል የኳስ ቆይታ 26 ከመቶ ነበረ። በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል 24 ከመቶ ነበር። በሐዋሳ ከተማ 26 ከመቶ የኳስ ቆይታ ነበር። አጠቃላይ በ45 ደቂቃ 54 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ፣ 46 ከመቶ ደግሞ ሐዋሳ ከተማ ነበር። ሙከራዎችን ስንመለከት 8 ሙከራዎችን ሐዋሳ ከተማ፣ 4 ሙከራዎችን ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አድርጓል። ታርጌታቸውን የጠበቁትን ስንመለከት ደግሞ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል አንድ ታርጌቱን የጠበቀ አጠቃላይ ግን እንቅስቃሴዎቹ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን በደንብ የሚያሳዩ ናቸው ማለት እንችላለን። የአታክ ወይም ደግሞ የማጥቃት ኃይሉን በግራና በቀኝ መስመር እንዲሁም ደግሞ ከአማካኝ ተነስቶ የሚሄደውን ስንመለከት በፖዚሽን አሁንም የተሻለ የላቀ የሆነው ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ነው። 29 ከመቶ የኳስ እንቅስቃሴ በመስመር በኩል ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ እንዲሁም ደግሞ በግራ መስመር የሚነሳው አደገኛ ኳስ መሆኑን የምናየው 72 ከመቶ የአዲስ ግደይና የአቤል ያለውም እንደገና እየተመለሰ ስለሚያግዘው 72 ከመቶ የኳስ የግራ መስመር እንቅስቃሴውን ከፍ ማድረግ ችሏል። በተጫዋች ቅያሬ በኩል አማኑኤል ትርፉ እንዲሁም ደግሞ ጋዲሳ መብራቴ፣ የአብስራ ተስፋዬ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል የሚጠበቁ ተጫዋቾችን ማንሳት ይችላል። የአብስራ የጨዋታውን መልክ የሚቀይር ተጫዋች ነው።
በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል ነው የምጠብቀው። ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ አሰልጣኝ ዳቪድ ማሂርስ ምናልባት የአዲስ ግዳይ የዚህ ጨዋታ ሚና በጣም ቀንሷልና ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ የቀድሞውን የመቀለ ሰባ እንደርታ የፊት መስመር ተጫዋች አማኑኤል ገብረ ሚካኤልን ወደ ጨዋታ ሁለተኛው አጋማሽ ላይ ያስገቡታል ብዬ እጠብቃለሁ።
እንግዲህ የሁለቱ ቡድኖች ጨዋታ ሁለተኛው ግማሽ ከተወሰኑ ደቂቃዎች በኋላ የሚጀምር ይሆናል። አሁንም ከሱፐር ስፖርት የኢትዮጵያ የቤቲንግ ውድድር ጨዋታዎች ጋር ጥሩ ቆይታ ይሁንላችሁ። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ከሐዋሳ ከተማ ይቀጥላል።
Kick off the season on a winning note by entering our Premier League competition. Simply enter the daily quiz. Stand in line to win premier prizes.
የሚወጣው ብራችን ስለ ሳንጃው የሚወርደው ክብራችን ስለ ሳንጃው አይደንቀንም እኛ ስለ ሳንጃው እሱ ነው ደስታችን ተሳፍረን ሄድን በፍቅር መርከብ ሳንጅዬን ይዞ የለም መዋገር ለዚህ ለመብቃት ብዙ ደግመናል ከእንግዲህማ ማን ያቆመናል ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም ሳንጃው አንደኛ ነው ሳንጃው ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም ሳንጃው አንደኛ ነው ሳንጃው ደመቀ አሸበረቀ በቢጫ ብርቱካንም ማጎስ ተመለቀቀ እያሳፈፈ እኛን ወሰደ ድል አድርጓል ሼባ እንዳስደመደ ካምቦሎጆ ደመቀ አሸበረቀ በቢጫ ብርቱካንም ማጎስ ተመለቀቀ እያሳፈፈ እኛን ወሰደ ድል አድርጓል ሼባ እንዳስደመደ ስለ ሳንጃው የሚፈሰው ላባችን ስለ ሳንጃው የሚጠፋው ጊዜያችን ስለ ሳንጃው አይደንቀንም እኛ ስለ ሳንጃው እሱ ነው ደስታችን አባል በጣም ረክቻለሁ ምግብ አልበላም ድል ጠግቤያለሁ አልኮል ባልጠጣም ኳስ አስክሮኛል ልቤ ሳንጅዬ ሁሌም ይለኛል ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም ሳንጃው አንደኛ ነው ሳንጃው ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም ሳንጃው አንደኛ ነው ሳንጃው ተሳፍረን ሄድን በፍቅር መርከብ ሳንጅዬን ይዞ የለም መዋገር ለዚህ ለመብቃት ብዙ ደግመናል ከእንግዲህማ ማን ያቆመናል ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም ሳንጃው አንደኛ ነው ሳንጃው ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም ሳንጃው አንደኛ ነው ሳንጃው ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም ሳንጃው አንደኛ ነው ሳንጃው ሳተናው ሳንጃው ሳንጃው ሳተና ነው ሳንጃው ትናንትም ዛሬም
capital city, Hawassa, Addis Ababa. St. George have enjoyed the most part of this game in the first half with Addis Gidey and Abel Yaleu toying around with a defensive side, Hawassa Ketema. As we speak, St. George in the first half managed to score 3 goals and are leading 3-0. Goals that were scored by Kebede in the 40th minute and in 43rd minute. And the top striker, Neglande Robin, scoring the 3rd goal. Well, it's been a game of seesaw so far in this particular game. Of course, Hawassa not really knowing how to break that tightly knit defense side that has been placed by St. George. St. George have 8 internationals in this squad. That includes Addis Gidey, Getene Kebede, Haida Sherefa, and Abeliel. And of course, the owner of the St. George side is actually in the stadium to try and give some morale booster to his team that has not won this title since 1997.
Yeah, it's for a good time, Gilbert. The 2 coaches are watching the match as well, including the national coach here. So they're trying to, obviously string up a team. It becomes very difficult if you're one of the technical officials because of the number of talented players that we have on that on the Ethiopian Premier League, and when you see them on the field and on a daily basis, you know just how difficult it's going to be. But it's worked well for St. George, hasn't it, in this in the first half, Gilbert?
It has worked very well, especially Odunya Enoch, who's playing straight on the left-hand side of the attack, actually playing as a left back, but in a very, very advanced position, bringing some very, very crucial crosses for St. George so far in the first half.
Immediate affairs to the center referee starts it for the second half. You can see the picture of the founder of the Ethiopian Federation in 1943 on the other side. It's at the top of your picture at the moment. You know, literally looking down on what's going on at the field here. As the Hawassa City side will try to pull the goals back. And the St. George will probably try to open the score even further. You can listen to the commentary in a language of your choice. As the first shot comes in, you got a Mari commentary and you've got English commentary as well. And a quick start for Hawassa. Oh, they're going to get a foul here. Quick start for Hawassa on the left side. I think they've made a substitution. They brought in Mintes.Edrias, who was already beginning that run on that side. So looking for the speed as well of that forward. And we'll wait to see whether that change is going to be of a lot of help to the side. So a free kick. Mintesinot on the other side has been yellow carded for the St. George side. So Mintesinot being yellow carded for an offense against Mintesinot Edrias. I don't know whether it's just a fight over the name or it's just a football fight, but for the two of them together, causes a little bit of trouble for the Kenyan goalkeeper, Patrick Matasi. Just in the 46th minute, a quick change of tact by Hawassa. We'll talk a little bit about what was the expectation of the halftime break for both sides and what the coaches could have been telling them to do or not to do. Looks like two men will be taking that free kick, or will be taking charge of that free kick. It might just be on the right foot. I don't think Desta Yunis will go on the left foot. That's just a decoy. It could just come from the right foot. But Tassi has already organized his men as well, watching where he's going to be going to. Yep, it was coming from that side, but Tassi had already left it to roll off the field of play. I think it takes the post and comes back to bang onto him. The shot being taken by Abdisalim Tesfaye. I don't think Matasi had the first touch on it. No, it takes the post, yes, and then it bangs back on him. As they start to press again. What do you think could have been the talk at halftime? Because it seems like they are pressing a little bit harder in the first few minutes of the second half, having made the changes and having benched Cheneta Wish.
Well, I think for Hawassa, the biggest undoing was their two wing-backs, Daniel Deribe on the right-hand side and Desta Yohannis on the left-hand side, because that's exactly where St. George...
Look at that. Matasi not getting onto that ball. Look at it. It hits the post. And he doesn't know how it didn't go into the net at that time. But Matasi's got to be very careful about some of those balls. You don't just wish them away.
He should have punched. He should have punched the ball away.
They made another substitution as well. Tadesse is in the field and Jibril has been brought out. I think they wanted to solidify the central defense where Jibril was. So they brought in Tadesse in his place. Now that change in the central defense, Gilbert, tells you there's a little bit of a problem with that defense, according to the technical bench.
Yeah, I was talking about that because Lawrence Latte and Abdisalim Tesfaye have not had a good game in the first half. And also Daniel Deribe on the left, on the right, and Desta Yohannis on the left have also not had a good run in this particular game.
Well, we'll see whether the absence of Jibril, who looked a little bit slow as well, is going to be of any help to this side. It's going to be a free kick, a goal kick. No, a free kick, because it was an offside. That will be given to the St. George side. Should you hear a little bit of a gush of wind on the microphones, don't be surprised. We are experiencing exactly that in Addis Ababa, where the temperatures could go as low as 8-7 degrees Celsius, especially in the nights, and then maximums expected at probably just 20 during the day. But then when it comes with a wind, it's a little bit of a cold wind. For this time of the year in Europe, you know, it's cold, and it's probably freezing in other places as well. for Africa and in the tropics. It's expected to be largely warm, but then it doesn't quite work out like that. Quick clearance this time round, even as the danger man Abel Yaleo was still trying to bring in balls looking for Getani Kebede. The defenders realize now they have to cut it out. Actually, Abel Yaleo was trying to come into position to capitalize on that now. And now that the attention has come away from him as well, it might just be another decoy striker on the St. George side. This one almost being nodded into the net again by Kitane Kebede. How he didn't get onto that one on target is another thing altogether. But Kitane Kebede almost puts it in the net.
It's time to perfection, and no one marking. That is Larte Lawrence not being able to to mark out Kebede, a very, very dangerous striker, a player that you don't want to give an opportunity to equal chance in the box.
You don't want to leave him alone in there. This is going to be a throw in here. This is going to be a throw in. I think there's been a yellow card given out on that side. Could it be on Abdul Karim? Oh, he's working just a little bit too hard. Yes, that's Abdul Karim Mohammed. Been yellow carded for a tackle on that side. Yeah, here it is again. Yeah, quite unnecessary on Yohani Segebo, and just stomped onto his foot. You know, when you're being stomped on with a boot that has studs, first of all, the pain itself is a little bit excruciating. And then the other thing is you can't move and you're stopped short in your tracks. Hawasa's working a little bit harder this time round. Yeah, but I think they must have decided they're going to go for a full-out attack. No point in staying behind.
Yeah, look at the numbers. There are 2, 3, 4. There are about 8 players in the attack at this particular point. So there's no question of sitting back. You already conceded 3 goals. And you need to have at least some more players moving forward.
Dunya will watch this one roll off the field of play. And Biruk will not have gotten to it. He's working too hard up front, needs a support striker to help him up at the front, or at least a midfielder who is attacking. Otherwise, Adunya will get the better of him every time and will just cut him out of the balls. Because again, they're trying to make switch play, you know, turning it from left to right most of the time, and it might just not work very well. Another one trying to get it to Biruk Cheyenne. That combination of Biruk and Minton Sotendrias might just work, but here is Abel Yaleo. He knows he's got time and chips it onto the right side. The goalkeeper is off his line. They got the better of the goalkeeper, but it's just the position of it leaves Kebede in a very, very acute angle to be able to turn the ball in. Look at the tact of Abel Yaleo, Gilbert.
This, very quick feet, tactical awareness. He knows that he's been crowded. He decides to play the ball to the outside, but again, the return pass by Addis Gide just letting them down, with Kebet in a prime position to score.
And you see the pain on his head. You can also see the pain on Shoho Mensah's face as well, on the attacks coming towards him. Adunya, yeah, was trying to dummy it there, gets the advantage of the possession. Yaleo was trying to go through a maze of blue stockings, but was waylaid this time round. Out on the left side, the Awasa Keteba side simply deciding to play all out and to go all out for the attack. They're leaving just about, 2 men in defense, the rest coming into the midfield to help out. And they're hoping that might draw out the midfielders on the St. George side to give them a chance to go for an attack. So a little bit of dilly-dallying here until everything then lights up with a good ball down on the right side, on the left side. Yohani Segebo is onside and sends a long ball. He's not sure about how that doesn't get there. Matasi says, pack it up. But that would have worked two ways, Gilbert. It first comes in dangerously as a ball that is probably dropping into the goal area. There it is. And then again, you're wondering whether anybody else could have gotten to it.
Well, Matasi way out of his position. I think Johannes Segebo was trying to get the upper 90 right beyond Matasi and to the top part of the corner. But again, missing by a whisker, yeah.
Calculation. It's never really exact. Kebede has gone past his defender. Well, quick feet then sends the ball off the field of play. Tried to go round.
Wow.
And Abdisalam then stayed put in his line and picked up the ball and decided he's not going to let the goalkeeper do all the defending on his own. And that saves them the blushes again. Here are the two men happy with themselves. Here, this one has gone into the net. Deflected in. But how was that down then? Quite unexpected as well with all the defenders in place. But then it is deflected into the net from the least of the expected quarters. It's not any of these two. They're just celebrating the fact that they've put it in the net. It's not any of these ones on the stand as well. They're celebrating the fact that their team is doing well. That's the man. I think it comes off the foot of a defender, but the credit will be taken by... Yeah, the credit will be taken by Robin Neglande, but he didn't score that goal. It's an own goal.
Yeah, it's an own goal.
It's an own goal. That comes off the foot of the defender. My hunch tells me it is the Ghanaian, but we'll see it again. We will see it again. It's 4-0 in favor of St. George. They're running away with this one. As they bring it back onto the right side, Awasa really will have to think about what they're going to be doing in this game. 4 goals is just too big a cushion. They can't pull it back at this time, can they? But yet again, they have to play in the 90 minutes of this. 4 goals to nil. Neglande will take credit for it, but it's an own goal.
That's an own goal.
Yeah, it should have been by this man here. And what a way to come into the game, David Sadese, trying to help the side and putting his foot there. And then the foot puts the ball in the net. Here it is again. You see it now.
Yes.
Yes, it's David Sadese who puts it in the net. And they celebrate and say, you see, I told you, they're going to score in their own net.
So
this is a very cheeky celebration, Gilbert.
Abel Yelu has 3 assists in this game.
Yep, absolutely.
Including their own goal.
Absolutely. A very cheeky celebration from Abel Yelu and the other men up front, almost telling each other, you see, I told you, if we press them, they're going to make mistakes, and they did. So David is the one who scores the own goal, David Tadese. Well, what do you think Coach Mahir Davids is thinking?
He's a very, very happy coach. He's a very happy coach. I think when they win, they always say the team played to my instructions.
Yes. And when they lose, don't say when they win. Say we coaches. You're a coach. You say that. When the team wins, we say, yeah, they play to my instructions.
Game plan was working.
When they lose,
the game plan never worked.
So you think Melugieta Mbihiret is going to say that about Awasa? Because I think to pull back 4 goals is a tall order.
It is a
very tall order.
Tall order.
Skills off the field of play is going to be a throw-in. Adunya being pushed back into the game by his coach, telling him, go ahead, nudging him to go ahead. Like everything is working perfectly, don't worry about it. It's going to be a throw-in to St. George. And now they're even realizing they could go for more goals if they wanted to. They're almost scoring at will up at the front. And we still haven't seen Abel Yaleo on the score chart. And my hunch tells me he is going to do something very prolific in this game, Gilbert. Because he's given the assists in all those goals, including their own goal.
The 3 of them. And we also yet to see Addis Kidei with 1 goal to his credit.
Okay, we might be overseeing the praises of St. George. So pardon us if you're a St. George fan.
Oh.
It's a very exciting game at the stadium in Addis Ababa. In the Bet-King Ethiopian Premier League. Of course, he's very happy, with his charges, the officials of the St. George side. And whenever something of yours is working, you simply say, yeah, it's working well. Good ball down on the left side. So, again, back into the midfield.
Again, Abel. Robert.
This is going to be a foul here. It's not as bad as it was going to look like, but you know, Abel Yaleo.
Is just necessarily not there. Like
you have the right mind, right?
With a fantastic performance of 11 hours, 34 minutes and 42 seconds, Veronica dominates.
No, it's just like a combination of weather. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't raining.
Dear Best Buy, I need something else I can do with my dad. Maybe a really big screen TV will get us inside.
We've got great prices on awesome brands.
Furniture, because that ball was destined to go in.
That should have been a goal.
As well as the fight between elites for the
I don't know where the guy's going.
as well as
again the forest comes.
Jamie Vardy, and it's bounced in off Alderweireld.
In the 25-kilometer, the local Mard Saddam Mod Pitli was the first man to cross the finish line, and Ukrainian Tetiana Drahonchuk was the first woman. In the 13-kilometer run, known as the Freshman Run, the Malaysians dominated the scene, with So Wei Ching winning the men's category and Karen Sia the women's. The season finale race brings this competition to a close. Ambitions were high, and a good result is the best possible way to end a year full of great effort. But sometimes things are not going as planned, and bad moments test your determination and dedication to fulfill your dreams.
Well, right now, just a few hours after the last finish, I feel quite tired after a very tough weekend, but it has been a fantastic season. It was the best ever, I would say. Going in progressively from 2015 until 2019 has always gone better and better. We have two fantastic champions this year, John Ellis and Veronika Vodovicova. They're of course not really Asian, but they're expats.
A moment of doubt, but not anymore. Goes it counts, it goes.
Sport Blitz on Channel 200 brings you the latest sports news 24/7, 365 days.
If stress worsens your digestive issues, try new Align Digestive De-Stress. It combines Align's probiotic with ashwagandha to help soothe occasional digestive upsets, plus stress that can make them worse. Align Digestive De-Stress from the pros in digestive health.
Various Porsche campaign.
Welcome back to the shows now.
Next April in Sevilla, and to end this
beach races as well. So it's totally different from South Africa. We don't have mountain bike races with 2,000 altimeters. So it's totally different, different scene. We'll take every day at once and let's see how far we can go. We know we can do 2-3 days of racing, but we've never done 4, 5, 6 or even 7 days.